Sometimes the best deal you ever do is the one you didn't do. Hey guys, Randy Gage here. Welcome you to another episode of the Power Prosperity Podcast. And I've turned on the laptop, so I'm going to share it with you guys on the YouTube channel. And I want to talk about your not to do list. Just like the best deal is sometimes the one you don't do, or the best relationship move you ever make is to not get into one. And sometimes, the best thing you do is the action you didn't take. And I think that really applies to prosperity and how you manifest a healthy, happy, and prosperous life. And I'm a big believer in this. So I have some not to do things, right? I love to-do lists. I'm a list guy, I admit it. I love doing priorities, having lists, figuring out, okay, what do I want to do today? What's the order I want to do it? All of that kind of stuff. But I also recognize for me to be playing at my highest level, I absolutely have some not to do things. So I just thought I'd share them with you. I hope you find them helpful. And then I'd love to hear any more that you would add to the list. So first thing, judging anyone unfairly. This is so easy to do, particularly in our social media age now, and all the trolls and the virtual signaling and the infighting on the polarization you see on social media. So we've become really quick to judge, and I felt that I've fallen through, down that rabbit hole myself. And so that's one of the things that I kind of check in with myself on. Hey, am I judging anyone unfairly, unduly, too harshly? Next item on my list is drinking alcohol. There's only one reason to drink alcohol. That's to get stupid. Can we just be real about that? And as a guy who was an alcoholic, teenage alcoholic, and hasn't had a drink now in 43 years, I could tell you that's one of the best moves. One of the best things I don't do every day is drink alcohol. Next one on the list, very related, to take recreational drugs. My life works so much better when I'm clean and sober. And honestly, I don't even like to smoke a joint anymore. I haven't had a joint in 10 years, probably. It's just not my thing anymore. I just find, my whole work, being a writer, being a speaker, trying to facilitate my critical thinking skills is not diminishing them with recreational drugs. So that's on my not to-do list. Eating high sugar, high carbohydrate foods. I don't have to tell you the science. Come on, we're all big kids now. We all know the science. We know what those kind of foods do to us. And we have to understand that we have this magnificent machine we call our body. When you see a panther running through the jungle, when you see the strength of a brown bear or a black bear or a gorilla, when you see the power and the fury of a shark or a orca, and no, the human being is the same way. We have this magnificently engineered, calibrated machine, which is capable of such extraordinary things. And then we just have to recognize that that body was not designed to subsist on Cinnabons and your mom's chocolate chip cookies and Fruit Loops cereal. Okay. And listen, I'm no saint. I will, like once a year, I will give myself a Cinnabon when I'm traveling through an airport. But honestly, I haven't even done that the last few years because you need basically, if you eat one of those, you need to run a half marathon to burn off the calories you get from that. So, and you're groggy, you're sleepy, your mind gets a little unfocused. So the more pure, clean protein you eat, fresh vegetables, fresh fruits, fresh nuts, that stuff, your body just works so much better. So that's one of the items on my list. Uh, Prosperity one is I never want to haggle over a price. Even in the places where haggling is the game, right? If you go and buy a car, there's that you're expected to haggle. They're going to put the price up here and they figure you're going to come here. And so I'm really good at like, what is the value I really would appreciate from that car? How much will I enjoy it? I'll look at the sticker. I'm smart enough to kind of figure out what their margin is. I want them to make a profit. I want them to have a margin because that's what keeps them in business. And then I can be there and come back and buy my next car from them. So I will create what I believe is a fair price. And I'll say, okay, I don't want to do the game. I don't want to haggle. Here's what I'm willing to pay. So if you're willing to do that, I'll cut a check right now. If not, then I'm just going to move on. So please don't insult me. And I'm going to go back to the manager and I'm fighting for you. And he's, because they just can't help themselves. They just got to do that, right? And so that's what happens. I give them the price. Okay, let me check with the sales manager. And then they come back, well, and I'm like, okay, never mind. Thanks anyway. And I start walking to my car. And invariably, they will chase me down before I leave the parking lot and say, okay, we'll take the deal. And I don't want to play that game. And you wouldn't do that with a brain surgeon. You wouldn't do that with your dentist. You wouldn't do it with your heart surgeon. Why are you trying to do that with the plumber and the electrician and the handyman and the painter and, people who are providing value and service to you? Just pay them a fair price. You don't have to get taken advantage of, but I don't want to haggle. It's just, to me, it's coming from poverty consciousness, not prosperity consciousness. A big one for me, if you've been following my work for a while, is I'm not going to doom scroll down social media. I've left all social media. The only one I came back on is Twitter because I judiciously control the people I follow. And even then, people I follow will sometimes start responding to a troll, and I'll see a tweet and then a reply and I'll click on that and that'll take me somewhere else. And the computer algorithms are designed to enrage me and scare me and make me do another click. And I catch myself saying, nah, you know what, I'm just going to shut that down, going back to work. And when particularly political things happen in the country or in the world, then I just say, okay, today's a good day. I'm not even going near Twitter because I don't want to be doom scrolling. Next one, another prosperity one. I never want to make a purchase solely on the basis of price. And this took me years to do this because I come from a family that has that consciousness. Every decision is made on you always buy the cheaper blue jeans, the cheaper tennis shoes, the cheaper pizza, the cheaper groceries, the cheaper stereo, whatever you're buying. You compare all of the prices and you buy the cheaper one. And that's a terrible, unprosperous way to live. Yes, of course, take price into account, be prudent with your money, but just don't make decisions solely based on price. And then the last one for my not to-do list that I want every day on my list is to take a loved one for granted. I'm at an age now, I've lost enough people. I have very few family members left, very few loved ones left in the world. And I want them to know I appreciate them and I love them. And I don't ever want to take them for granted. And I know I could lose them in an instant. So I try to celebrate every day, celebrate every moment, be there with them in the moment when I get the chances to spend time with them. And I encourage you to do the same thing. So that's my list. What's yours? Particularly you YouTube people, I left social media, so I stopped posting there. But when I'm doing these podcasts, I've been putting on the camera. If I have a chance, I'm at home to share stuff with you guys. And if you like it, if you comment on it, if you interact, then I see we've got a nice positive prosperity community energized over there on the channel. We'll create more content for you. Everybody else on the podcast, please like and rate and share with your friends and go out and be amazing. Peace. I love you guys.